that the story of a young man who entered the woods and found the maiden and nearly violated her, but she got away, ran home, told the village and the women leaders of the village what had happened. And they grabbed the young man and brought him to court. You can't do that. And as he pleaded for his life, they said, we'll give you 3 chances in the next 3 years. And if you can find the answer to what all women want, we'll let you live. So he set off on a quest to find out what all women want. And since it's time to begin, then we sit up and take your blocks. You can place them in front of you. Legs can be out very wide, or experiment, if you like. Bring them closer, closer, closer together and lean forward. See what's best for you. See what you need. We're engaging the psoas. When we engage the, your legs are wide. The psoas begins here in the middle of the thigh, comes up through the iliac crest, comes around to T12, L1. Everybody's different, but right around there, connects to your diaphragm. And we want to engage the psoas, but you may feel that your back or your hips might need a little bit more. Or you may come into kind of a hot red zone and you don't want to do that. So find a nice yellow, warm zone. It's friendly for you. And fold forward. The young man started a quest to find out what all women want. And so he approached women. And he found a woman waiting on a bench. And he asked her, what do you want? What are you waiting for? And she said, I'm waiting for my love. And he thought, that's it. All women want to be married. And so he brought it to the village leaders, and they said, no, not all women. And so he left again. And he talked to many women, and he found a woman who was married, was near her home. He said, what do you want? And she said, I'd love to have a family. And he thought, that's it. All women want children. And he brought it to the village elders. And they said, no, not all women. So he went on the search again. And now he's quite upset. He doesn't think he's going to discover what all women want. He meets an old woman, quite old. She's ancient old. And she asked him what's the matter, and he said, I'm going to be punished and killed by the village leaders if I don't discover what all women want. And she said, I can tell you. And he was very grateful. She said, but you need to marry me. So he contemplated, and he thought, well, otherwise I'm going to die. And so he marries the old woman. And that night, in the bedchamber, she became a young maiden. And they consummated their marriage. He woke up in the morning, and she had returned to being an old woman. And she said, no, he asked her, you need to tell me now what all women want. And she said, first I want to ask you, do you want me to be young during the day and old at night? Or do you want me to be old during the day and young at night? walking through the village with this older woman as a wife, this old woman as a wife, and visiting the market, and he just didn't know. And the bedchamber with that maiden. Oh, he told her, I just don't know. You decide. She said, there you are. Now you know what all women want. Sovereignty over their own life. Begin to back up a little bit. Place your hands down. Walk them back away from the blocks. You can set your blocks to the side, but not too far. And then come to lying down. We're going to put a block at the head of the mat for your head, and one's going to go between your shoulder blades. And as you lie down on the block for your shoulder blades first, and then rest your head, you'll notice if you need to adjust a little bit. Because everybody's different. You can't place it right where mine is, right? But you'll want to get to a point where you find a nice, easy opening for your shoulders, for your chest. You could double your arms. You could bring them up over your head or to a T. And then bring the soles of your feet together. If your knee struggles here though, because you might feel a little gravity pulling down on your knee. And that's okay. You don't need to hold this butterfly shape if you feel any pain at all, any kind of red. Just stretch your legs out long. And then gravity will pull your legs and your knees straight down instead of to the side. That could be helpful. And still beneficial. Sovereignty over your own life. And what does that mean? Because somebody could say, right? Here you are. You have sovereignty over your own life. Are you ready? What does that mean? That means you decide what's right and wrong. That means you decide what's moral and immoral. That means you decide when it's correct to be angry, sad, inappropriate. It's not that easy to think about, is it? We're always out in the overculture looking for answers, and oftentimes we get the opposite, contrary information, and a lot of confusion. Remember, the overculture isn't set up to help you understand who you are. It's always comparing you to somebody else. Right? So you want to sing. Well, can you sing like this person? That person? Do you have one of 12 voices that were acceptable in society today? Do you have the right face, body? Right, that's the overculture. It's too involved in creating rules for us. Because with billions of people on the earth, everyone with a unique gift or a unique way of presenting their gift can possibly try to fit everybody into those niches, those neat little structures, those limited ideas. we get caught up in that, don't we? We're always looking for a sign. If I express myself correctly, well, surely the lords and ladies will march in honor of me, and I'll just know that I'm right. And I can continue right. Permission, permission. Is that sovereignty? So it's not that easy. However, the bone woman, Los Lobos, the one who collects the bones and places the body together, who seeks far and wide to bring the pieces all together that have been scattered and place them in just the right place. And then she sings over them. She has the answer. She doesn't know what song to sing until all the bones are put together. So there you are. Gather yourself together. Gather your ideas. Gather your dreams. Gather your hopes. Gather your love. All together, no comparing. Just you. You and Los Lobos, the one who seeks bones, puts them all together, sings over them. Now, if you sat with that for a moment, do you think your soul might wake up? Wake up. Come to see what you're doing. Peer out your nostrils, your throat. And in that moment of quiet, you may remember who you are. Begin to turn your hands down if they're not down already. Walk them down to your sides. You could use your hands to lift your legs, lift your thighs, put them back up, about hip width apart. And then just gather yourself together and roll off the blocks. Push the blocks over to the side, both of them, but not too far so you can still reach them. And then stretch your legs out loud and stretch your arms up overhead and point and flex your toes and point and flex and point and flex. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then rest your arms at your sides and sit here in gravity. Just sit here, heavy on your mat in gravity, like the bones, resting like the bones, all put together. Right. Don't try to foretell the future. There's too many possibilities, you can't know. But by the time you think you know, everything has already changed. Just let everything be what it is. You might imagine where you were before you even knew your name. This fresh spark in the world. Curious. No voices ringing in your head, no judgment. No censor. No comparing. No fixing. You won this life. You're 1 in a billion chances of being here. You don't need to prove you deserve it. You do. You don't need to compare yourself to anyone. Take your hands down your sides. Bend your knees, walk your heels back towards your seat. Maybe let your heels just graze the long fingers for a moment. And having a block nearby, gently begin to press down into all four corners of your feet as you roll your weight up under your shoulders. You could lift or tuck your chin a little, find what works best for you. You're going to draw your strength through the midline here, through the midline of your knees, your thighs, your belly. And then take a block and place it underneath the tailbone. Again, experiment. Lift your chin, lower your chin. Find the right place. And then when you're ready, lift your right knee up at a 90-degree angle. Take both hands behind the hamstring, and as you try to pull your leg away from your body, flexing your foot, hold it in place, breathe in. And then release the heel to the floor. Stretch your right leg out long. Keep your left knee strong. Lift the right leg again, bending at a 90-degree angle. Take both hands behind your hamstring. Hold your leg in place as you breathe in. Breathe out. And again, bring the right knee up through a 90-degree angle. Take both hands behind the hamstring. Hold it in place as you try to pull it away, breathing in. And then release as you straighten the right leg and the heel out to the floor. You could find your psoas here, starting at the inner thigh, all the way around inside the iliac crest to the back. And center of your back, not really center, low back. And then bend the right leg again and place the right foot on the floor. Lift the left leg up to a 90-degree angle, bend the knee, flex the foot, take both hands behind the hamstring. Try to pull it away as you breathe in, and then breathe out as you stretch the left leg out long, resting the heel on the floor. Keep breathing. Bend the left leg again. Bring it back up, take both hands behind the hamstring. Breathe in as you try to pull it away. And breathe out, stretch it out. And again, lift the left leg back up, and then you to a 90-degree angle, both hands behind the hamstring. Breathe in as you try to pull it away, and release it to the floor. And now just take a moment to acknowledge the psoas, right? Just like we did on the other side. Maybe soften, lengthen, acknowledge, and then stretch the right leg out long. If you have both heels of both legs resting on the floor and you're coming into a bit of a red zone near the low back or your psoas or near your hips, just walk your feet back. You could take your knees up to the belly, rolling them in, squeezing them up. You could do a legs up the wall, you could do a straddle. Whatever you need to do, happy baby, take care of your low back. But if you're okay to stretch out long here, we're going to do a supported bridge and try to release the psoas for a couple minutes. So it's easy to say, oh, you're unique, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, go off and create, go on. You can do it. There's often some injury, isn't there? There's some injury, there's some pieces. And in stories, for example, like Bluebeard, where the injured part of the psyche has grown aggressive, large and loud, and it wants to kill off the creative nature of the maiden, the creative and innocent and even naive at times nature. In that story, the maiden's brothers came up on horseback, drove Bluebeard out onto the precipice, chopped him up into little pieces, and left him for the carrion to take away. It wasn't a punishment. In the case where there's an injury, where the Bluebeard of the psyche has become aggressive, shuts down the creative voice, tells you, not good enough, never be good enough, you're too old, you're too young, you're too this, you're too that. Every lie you can imagine, it's all lies. It's too late. That's the biggest lie. It's too late. That's a big lie. You gather up muscle, that's your brothers, your creative muscle in your psyche. That's the brothers in the story. Gather up muscle, take a moment. And you shut it down. You chop it up into little pieces so that you can see it more clearly. See more clearly what happened. All the different ways that it became aggressive. All the different ways you subjected yourself to that voice. Those voices. And the carrion birds carry it off. Not to be digested in the story, but down to hell. Hell is not a place. Hell is a person. Hell takes all the pieces and teaches them from the end to the beginning how to be new. That's part of the lore, that's part of the story. So if you think about it that way, you take all the pieces and you start to go backwards. What happened? What happened? Oh, I see. I listened too much to the overculture. I listened too much to those who had their own Bluebeard psyche. Someone destroyed their creative will, their creative nature, their childlike self. And then they destroyed me, so on, so on, so on. Because remember, there's only 12 different kinds of singing, or painting, or dancing, and you have to fit into the niche, right? That's also a lie. There are as many different ways of creating as there are people on this earth. Dial it back. Dial it back. And wherever you need to, you may have been in this class before where I mentioned descanso. Descanso is the place like the ones that you see when you're driving down the road, maybe around a sharp corner, maybe around a building, maybe near a sign where there's a cross, flowers, wreath, sometimes some teddy bears and a memorial there, where somebody was on their way somewhere and then they didn't make it for some reason. They were stopped in their tracks. So sometimes as we're going back, we find a moment, painful moment, or we remember, oh, I was on my way and everything changed all of a sudden, because you can set a memorial, you can honor that time in your life. Say a blessing, say a prayer, whatever feels right to you, but honor it. And let it go. You don't need to live there. That's another trap. Survivor. I'm a survivor. Identify as a survivor, right? We start to go back and find out, oh my goodness, there were so many things. My family, my dad almost died. I'm a survivor. Don't get stuck there. Yeah, you survived, and now it's time to move on. If you need to, honor the place where you were on your way somewhere and everything changed. We can't stay in survival mode. We can identify as survival. It's no way to thrive. If it's fueling your creativity, great. Fuel your creativity. But you have to continue to grow. There does come a point when hell has pieced all the pieces that were broken back together, and the individual is reborn and returned. Your psyche has a natural killer that's appropriate. The natural part of the psyche that wants to kill things off knows when it's time to leave, knows when it's time to change, knows what part of the story fits and what part doesn't, knows what part of the dance fit, what part doesn't, cuts it off, takes care of it. When it becomes aggressive, it cuts off everything. Everything's wrong. Everything's ugly. Everything's stupid. That's not what we want. We want the natural killer of the psyche to work appropriately with us. That's part of having sovereignty over your life. Not letting one part of the psyche overpower all the rest. When you're ready, turn your hands down if they're not turned down already. Place them close to your body for support. Begin to walk your heels back towards your seat. Lift your knees up. Don't come off the block, but lift your knees up over the bellies. Maybe take your hands up to your knees and squeeze, squeeze. Stretch your legs up long if it feels appropriate at this point. Let the soles of your feet reach for the ceiling. This could be more of a legs up the wall shape, as though your seat and your legs and your heels are all lined up against a wall. Or you can let your legs come a little bit closer to your face. And if it feels good to bend your knees here a little bit as you flex the feet, do that. Bend your knees. And find a full engagement of the posterior chain, the sole of your feet, the back of your ankles, the back of your calves, the back of your knees, the back of your hamstrings, hips, seat, even low back. You might even feel it in your belly, near your psoas, near your hips. Now back it off a little bit if you have brought them closer to your face, and then bring your legs out wide into a straddle shape if that feels okay. Feel free to use your hands to support your legs if they feel too heavy, not strong enough to hold the shape. That's okay. Or bend your knees. Still flexing the feet. You could point and flex, see how that feels. And when you're ready, begin to bend the knees to the outside of the rib cage. You could take your hands to the outside of the feet, come into a happy baby. Some people hate happy baby. Please don't feel like you have to do it. If you feel vulnerable, if you don't feel strong, if you feel in any way like this isn't appropriate for you, just don't do it. You could cross your legs, you go back to straddle, back to legs up the wall, whatever you need to do to feel good in your skin right now. You don't need to cross any boundaries. Sit with your boundaries unless you're ready. If you're ready, just try it and see what happens. And let everything just be what it is. I'm practicing that a lot lately. Let it be what it is. Stop trying to fix everything. Stop trying to find something wrong with everything. Sit with what it is. Enjoy it for what it is. Now when you're ready, you could bring your knees together. You could cross the right leg over the left. You could reach for the ankles if you like. I mean, you could just sit here with legs crossed. Or you could reach for the ankles and come into a reclined cow face. You'll find a deeper stretch for the hip if you do so. Flexing the feet again. You could point and flex and see how that feels. Keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. And then uncross the legs and switch sides. You could cross the left leg over the right. You could come into a reclined cow face, holding onto the ankles, or just cross the legs. Whatever feels appropriate to you. Flexing, pointing, whatever feels right to you. Find your breath and just let this be what it is. Feel what you feel. Hear what you hear. See what you see. And then uncross the legs. You could squeeze your knees back into your belly, your chest again. And when you're ready, place both feet on the floor. Place your hands down, gently lift the hips, move the block to the side. We won't need those again, unless you need them as a prop. So go ahead and stretch your legs out long, stretch your arms up overhead. Stretch, stretch, stretch as far as you can, point and flex the toes, point, and flex, point, and flex. And then let your arms be heavy at your sides and just sink into gravity here. Putting your bones all back together again. Imagine somebody coming to sing over you. Sing over your bones. Resting under the crown. In the story in the book, it goes something like, and the sinews begin to wrap around the bones, and the cartilage begins to grow, and she continues to sing, and the muscles begin to flesh out, and the skin begins to cover your body. You open your eyes, and you rise up. Somebody says, where do you think you're going? And there's an old woman behind you. She says, she's going home. Turn your hands down. Walk your heels back towards your seat. Gently lift the hips to one side and turn to one side so you can stack your legs on top of each other. I've got my right leg on top of my left. You can support your hand on your head or on your shoulder or on the floor, whatever feels right to you. And then when you're ready, take the top leg back behind you. Kick it back. You could grab the ankle here if you want to. If it's not available, that's okay. Don't cross any boundaries, no judgment, no concern. Meet yourself where you are today, lots of grace. You deserve lots and lots of grace. And then bring your legs back together, and we're going to roll to our belly. Once you're on your belly, maybe just find a cheek to rest on, or your chin. Resting on the tops of your feet here. Find your breath flowing in your chest, in your belly. That little bit of pressure on the belly as you breathe stimulates the cells in the skin and of the stomach and of the intestines. Gets things moving with very little effort. So just breathe in and enjoy lying on your belly. Your body does the rest. Don't think too much. In fact, if you notice you're thinking, if you notice your mind is wandering, just notice. And then notice your breath. Feel what you feel. Feel your hands, feel your feet, feel your belly, your shoulders, top of your head, your face. See what you see. Maybe you're looking right into the mind sky. And there's light and dark, shadow, movement. Maybe you're looking right in front of you. Just see what you see. And hear what you hear. Whatever it is. Your breath, my voice, sounds in the room. We're gonna bring our hands underneath our shoulders from here. Tuck the toes under, push up into a tabletop shape, and then press all the way back up into a downward dog. Don't worry about your heels reaching the floor. It's enough just to let the tops of your feet reach for the shins. Sometimes that's enough to get things released, but it's just not necessary. Not everybody is the same or in the same journey at the same time, right? Once you're here, lift the right leg up. Point the toes up towards the ceiling. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Now you're in three-legged dog. Feel your balance, feel your weight. Bend the right leg, let the heel come down to the left side of the seat. Stretch the right leg up again, toes reaching for the ceiling. And then when you're ready, bring the right knee up between the hands, just the right knee. Once you're here, you might want to experiment a little bit with what you're ready for. You could sit on a hip, bending both legs, sort of fold forward into a swan. Or you could stretch the left leg out behind you, come into a pigeon. You could be up, head up, neck up, chest up. You could fold forward. Find your pigeon, find what works right for you, don't cross any boundaries. Other things happen on our journey, and I haven't told the story in a while, but there's a story about these birds. All the birds you can think of in the world found a golden feather. It's an amazing story, but one of the most relatable things about the story is that as they travel together, all of them, things begin to happen that interfere with their quest. One of the things that happens is the voices that say, was it so bad where we were? I'm not quite certain I'm ready for all this change. And some of them go back. And some of them don't make it. And if you recall, most of these stories, all of them, have to do with different parts of your psyche, different parts of your personality on your journey. If you allow the natural, healthy killer of the psyche to end things, to kill things off, to let things change, as you change, parts of you will fall away. It doesn't mean they never existed. It's part of your journey. It is a bit of a death, but nothing to grieve, it's a growth. Honor who you were. Love who you were. Recognize your vulnerability, your naivety. Honor that part of your life, but you can't stay there. Move on. Let the healthy part of your psyche that knows what needs to stay and what needs to go do its job. Now take both hands underneath the shoulders again. Tuck the left toes under if you use the right leg, and then press up back into downward dog. Once again, the tops of the feet reaching for the shins. You might take a glance at your navel here, tucking in through the belly. Find your balance and lift the left leg up. Stretch the left toes all the way up towards the ceiling. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Find your balance on your three limbs. And then bend the left leg, the heel bending over towards the right seat. And then stretch it all the way up again. Toes of the left foot reaching for the ceiling. And then bring the left knee down and through between the hands. just like we did on the other side. Into a pigeon or into a swan, head up, neck up, chest up, or holding over, whatever is most appropriate for you. Or both. It's interesting on that journey with the birds, and I'll tell it sometime, but on their quest, with some dying off, with some becoming frightened, with some unwilling to finish the journey, and then at the end there was only a few left. That is kind of the way that it goes. If you let things take place the way they're supposed to, they end up in a nice, neat little structure, right? Think of it as a story that has no extraneous information. A poem, a song, right? Not that that extraneous information isn't important, it just doesn't belong here. Let it go. Some writers like to take their words out of the story and put them on a page somewhere else. They just don't belong here. And in that story of the birds, as they traveled and traveled and traveled, those who made it found the bird whose feather had been lost. But it wasn't there yet. It was smoke and ash and fire, that's all it was. When they brought the feather, placed it down, and the bird was born. Phoenix rose out of the fire, a rebirth. The life, death, life cycle. There is always a moment of death, and then a quickening, growth, birth, zenith, entropy, death, quiet, quickening, growth, zenith, entropy, death, for everything. Everything through your life. And again, that death makes it possible for something new to be born. We can't sit there with something we've outgrown, or we've already died, right? You have to honor the life, death, life cycle. Was it Mary Oliver who said, don't die before you're dead? Life is for the living. Take your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your right toes under this time. Press up, up, up into a downward dog. You might take your glance up to your navel, tighten up through the belly, strong arms, strong belly, strong legs here. And then begin to walk your hands forward as you come into plank. Once you're in plank, you could lower your knees to the floor if that feels right to you, or you could just lower your whole body slowly, slowly to the floor. And once again, rest. Rest here. Resting on the tops of your feet, rest on one cheek or the other. Take a moment to breathe. Not thinking, not fixing, not remembering. Not trying to foretell the future. Not trying to explain anything. No censor. everything be what it is. Just what it is. Alright. Bending the right leg. You're going to keep the leg in contact with the floor. Just bend it to your side like a froggy leg. Like a frog leg on one side. If you need to put a blanket under your knee or move over so you can put some cushion with your mat under your knee, whatever you need to do, just tending. You could use a block if you want a little deeper stretch. Let's rest here for a moment. Find the top of your head. Feel the warm orange and yellow light pour through the top of your head, all around your brain, around your face, down your throat. A warm orange and yellow light of friendship, of kindness, of love, grace inside of you, down your throat, into your chest, around your heart, swimming through your lungs and your belly, pouring through your arms, into your fingers, palms, pulling into your thumbs and shooting out the end. Warm orange and yellow light pouring down through your intestines, down your legs, out your toes. Warm orange and yellow light of friendship, of love, of grace, connecting you to everything on earth, everything there is alive. And when you move, all the light around you moves, and the entire web vibrates. When someone else moves, someone else moves. The air and the web vibrates. Don't worry about their end. Keep track of your own. No. Let your self-worth be caught up in the idea of global outcomes. Anything outside of your reach. Sit in your part of the web. Warm orange and yellow light pouring through your body and connecting you to everything alive. Stay with that vision as you slide the right leg down beneath the left, long on the mat. And then bend the left leg up next to your body, froggy style. Keep breathing here. Continuing with that vision of the warm orange and yellow light pouring into the top of your head. It fills your body. It pours out your fingers and out your toes. Into everything living. Let's wish everyone well. You can use my words or use your own. May you be happy. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all be free. Take your attention out of this building, out of this state, out of this country, into Iraq and Iran, every tribe of Africa, into Asia, all through India. Can you imagine how many people are living on this earth? surrounded by love and kindness. Slide the left leg down, the right arm back, long on the mat. And when you're ready, take your hands underneath your shoulders here, press up into a tabletop shape, and sit down onto your ankles. If it's okay for you to do a child's pose, if you don't want to do child's pose, you could sit back on your heels. You could sit on one hip or the other. Find something that works for you. You are the sovereign of your own life. Do what's right for you. So, as you are aware, I read a lot of Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes books. And she says in one of her stories, it's not in Women Who Run with the Wolves, I think it's Mother Night. But if you want to know for sure, I can check. I'll have to check back. But she said she was on a quest for wisdom. And on this quest for wisdom, she found so many different answers. You could find so many answers. Philosophers, Yai Ching, Oprah, right? So she said a prayer before she went to sleep, because that's her way. And when she was sleeping, she heard this kind of disembodied voice. It said to her, wisdom is what works. And she mentions how profoundly simple that was to her. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized, even more so, how profoundly simple, right? Wisdom is what works. And what works can change depending on the circumstances. To be wise, you'll be able to discern the difference. When you're ready, press back up into a tabletop shape, and we're going to switch sides. So if you started out knees stacked on the left, now you're going to stack them on the right so that your left leg is on top. Find a place to rest on your arm and your hip. And then take the top leg back behind you, reaching for the ankle, pull back. You don't have to reach the ankle, of course. If you do, that's fine. Keep breathing. Don't let your mind wander too much. And then release the knee again, stack the legs together. And we are going to come into a final Shavasana. So if you like, as I do, to cover up with the blanket, feel free to do so now. I love to cover up. Not everybody feels that way. So please do what you do for yourself. What feels right. Let your legs be as wide as you like, close together. Hands, palms can be facing down or facing up. You'll notice a change in feeling depending on the way you rest your body. Your body tells you how it feels. Your body is your cohort. Takes the impact of every experience we have first. Every emotional and physical experience we have is absorbed by the body first, before it reaches your mind, before you understand what's happening. It's especially notable with children. Almost you frighten them because of feeling their body freezes. And there's something very cool about being at circus that I want to share. Because we don't always think about it, but I was thinking about it when I was there, because one of the girls was on the German wheel, and she's a young girl, she's maybe 12. She was rolling through the top and she fell through the bottom. She fell through and hit the mat. And as she was laying there on the mat, the coach had run up as fast as he could and pulled the wheel off of her and went to pull her up. And she was smiling and she was laughing. And that's training. Not training to act like you're okay, but to be trained to know you're okay no matter what happens. They keep the students strong enough to perform through mistakes, through falls, through tumbles, by letting them know it's okay to make mistakes, you're okay. Not to devastate them, but to help them feel safe. And they're so good at it. They're so good at it. You hear the coaches on the sideline going, you did it. You did it. You're so great. Oh, everything's okay. No, don't worry about that. Yep, you got this. That's how you keep them strong, so that they can smile even if they fall off the trimmer wheel. Now you, right now, take a moment to feel your toes and begin to soften. Begin to soften through your feet, the soles of your foot, your heel, your ankle, your shin, your calf. Feel that warm orange and yellow light surrounding your knees. Let them soften. Soften through the thighs, hips, belly, seat, front ribs and back ribs, upper chest, upper back and shoulders. Soften through the arms, elbows, wrists, palms, fingers, thumbs. Soften through the throat, up through the jaw. Soften through the lips, tongue, teeth. Find the tip of your nose. Follow it all the way up to between your eyebrows. Soften. Relax. Be open to the unknown. Soften through the eyes, eyelids, eyelashes, eyeballs. Soften through the forehead. Find your hairline. Find the top of your head. Let go of all your hair. Soften through the back of your head, all the way down to the nape of your neck. Let go. Again, the life-death life cycle. As you lay here, your bones all being pieced back together. You'll never be the same. And that's okay. You can sing over your own bones. Grace, love. And begin to wiggle the toes. Wiggle the fingers. You could bring your hands together, interweave the fingers, stretch them up towards the ceiling. You could walk your heels back towards your seats. You could wipe your knees back and forth from left to right to left. Maybe look from right to left to right, waking up the body. And when you're ready, just lift the hips gently to one side and turn to one side. We have a moment. We still have a moment here. To If you could remind yourself that once in a while, transition. Don't remember. Don't future tell. Don't think. See what you see. Feel what you feel. Hear what you hear. Little moments throughout the day. Take a moment. Give yourself so much more space between thought. So much more sovereignty over your life. Without so much chatter from the yoga culture, from the natural killer of the psyche. Sometimes gets out of hand. Really wants to kill things off. Really does. You have to be mindful, you have to muscle up, you have to say no. But that's wrong, or that's a lie. Sovereignty comes. Sovereignty comes. Alright, take a deep breath in. And when you're ready, press up into a seated shape. You can crisscross your legs. When you're ready, if you want to, do what's right for you. You don't have to open your eyes if you don't want to. You can rub your hands together here. Keep it nice and warm. Place your hands over your eyes. Stretch your spine out long, long, long. Imagine star above your head, connecting you to the heaven. And then bring your palms together, your thumbs and your fingers. Bring your thumbs up to between your eyebrows. You can't know the future. There's too many possibilities. By the time you think you know, everything has already changed. So no, you can't plan for everything. But you know what to do when the time comes. Trust yourself. Bring your hands to heart center. May you be cared for and comforted. May you be safe and protected. May you be steady and strong. May you always be surrounded by love, kindness. Namaste. Thank you.